What up, y'all? Welcome to the Gunslinger Gaming Frosty Pints podcast. I'm Gobi, and joining me will be DrNiggle, the Leetness, OmegaConstruct, and Zero Burn 75. So sit back and enjoy the ride. First up, speaking of rides, motorcycles. Huge shout out to Armored Goose for getting his motorcycle license today, and a happy Father's Day to all you gaming dads out there.
Yay!
Congrats,
Yay.
Armored Goose.
I whacked my face while I was doing the single hand clap.
I slapped my knee.
The only thing really to talk about in the motorcycle world today is KTM passes Harley Davidson in global unit sales. They're the first non-Asian manufacturer to do it by volume, and that's about it.
Huh.
There you go. Harley is still making more money, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, the KTM came out with their Street Series a while back. I mean, obviously, they've been doing the dirt bike thing forever and a day, and there's some of the great dirt bikes out there. I mean, they're not the greatest, but they definitely hold their own. And their street bikes are pretty sick, too. Not the greatest bikes, but they're a solid V-twin setup, and they make a lot of noise, and they're a shit ton of fun to ride, so they can't be all bad.
Harley's dying out. It won't be around much longer, I don't think.
Aww.
Yeah, okay.
Too much work. I've got a couple family members who ride Harleys, and they've given them up. They take so much work. They have yet to really adapt to the changing market. It's right now their market share is just going to keep getting smaller as their ridership declines.
We got Omega and I have a mutual friend in Boston who rides a Harley and loves it. Won't shut up about it sometimes.
As a
they're
proud
not
motorcycle
bad
owner
bikes.
and rider, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm from Wisconsin. I know I should love Harley, but Omega's not wrong. Like, you don't buy a Harley unless you want to work on it.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
You've got to be
If you
such
want
a
to-
huge gearhead.
Really?
I own a Buell, and so everybody knows about Buell. It was Harley Davidson's one shot at a sport bike. As of December 31st of this year, you can no longer buy Buell parts through a Harley Davidson dealer. As far as they are concerned, they no longer exist. Yeah, so any love I had for them, I definitely do not, because they basically abandoned an entire section of bikers. I haven't bought a part from them for a while, but I had one bolt that I needed to buy from them, and like, oh, we can't even get it. And as of the end of the year, we won't even be able to see it anymore. Cool, awesome, time to buy a new bike. Guess what? It will not be a Harley Davidson.
Boy.
I feel like Harleys are like indicative of a culture that seems to be dying out. And that whole like motorcycle gang ideal, not necessarily like in terms of the criminal organizations, but like the groups of guys going out on rides together, all of them having their badass Harleys and leather jackets, and it's sports bikes are just getting so much more popular nowadays. And like I said, just the work that it takes to maintain a Harley, you spend as much time tinkering with it as you do riding it.
Indians are also American made, and they seem to be way more reliable than Harleys. I mean, I hardly ever see an Indian broken down, where I see Harleys all the time.
Also, Harleys are like the only bike that you buy full well knowing from the minute you get it that you're going to have to put a bunch of money and aftermarket parts into it, because they don't sell Harleys the way that Harley riders want them to run. So yeah, the whole stereotype of the loud Harley, like, that's not how they're sold. You have to do that aftermarket.
Yeah, that's true. Our friend in Boston did exactly that.
Yeah, that shit's not cheap. I mean, don't get me wrong. You sit on a full dresser Harley and you're cruising. When they run good and they're comfortable. But until they get more reliable, I just can't see it. And like they brought out the Livewire, which was a great idea. They absolutely fucked the pooch on it. They're trying to sell a bike for, what is it, like $30,000 or something, and you can buy this better bike for $13,000 from a different manufacturer. I mean, to me, we're talking, when I say better electric bike, I'm going seriously on specs alone, because I've never gotten to ride one yet, and if I did, I would probably buy the $13,000 one, because it looks like it's right up my alley. But I'm an old school gas guy myself.
Yeah, my dad swears by his bike. He's got a BMW 1200 GS Adventure.
Yeah, BMWs are nice.
He loves that thing. He swears by that, but he still wants a Harley. He sent me a picture of some Harley that he really liked. This big supercharged thing. It looked like a monster. He's like, here's what I want for Father's Day.
What's really crazy about the news that started this whole conversation is I've never even heard of KTM.
Yeah, see, most people haven't outside it. I mean, they're huge in the dirt bike world because for years, like, they made really good dirt bikes. And I think it was like 2008, they came into the street market. They released two bikes, the KTM Super Duke 990 and the RC8, which they basically had an 1190 V-twin motor, which, just as happen would have it, is almost identical to the same motor that was in the Buell 1125R in the same year.
Okay, so
the
this explains it.
KTM, the KTM was better. Yes, Huskies.
Yeah, I know Husqvarna. I didn't know that they were owned by KTM.
Yeah, God, I want to say, when did that happen? A long time ago. Like, late 80s or something. KTM bought them out, and then they let them sell for a few more years under the Husqvarna name, and I don't know, I think in like the late 90s, Husqvarna went away, and it was only KTM at that point. I'm not quite sure on those dates. I'm sure some KTM junkie will correct me.
Quick Wikipedia. KTM bought Husky in... No. So Husky was sold to some Italian company in 87, purchased by BMW in 2007.
Oh.
And then KTM took over in 2013.
How long were they sold under the Husqvarna name then? Because it's been years since I've seen a Husqvarna dirt bike.
Yeah, it says... I don't know. It doesn't say exactly.
Interesting.
Did you guys know that Keanu Reeves was born in the Lebanon?
Did you know that Keanu Reeves loves bikes?
He does love bikes. Yeah. No, it's a picture of him on a motorcycle that got me onto this page. This is great. Our podcast is basically us looking at shit on Wikipedia.
About Keanu
Reeves.
Reeves.
Fact, he bought all of the stuntmen on the Matrix movies, Harley Davidsons.
Aha!
He's such a nice young man.
So he single-handedly was responsible for keeping that company going for another couple of years.
What a lovely man.
So
Truly is a national treasure.
Fun story about Keanu Reeves. He was actually initially the one that they tapped to play Batman instead of Christian Bale.
That would have been a mistake.
Yeah.
That would have been a huge mistake.
She's almost too happy to be Batman.
But okay, no, think about this.
I think...
Wait, no, okay, so if Keanu Reeves is going out for Batman against Christian Bale, you have, Christian Bale, just the obvious acting style. Yeah, I prefer him as the Batman, but also the name, Christian Bale as Batman. It just looks good on a title card. Keanu Reeves also looks pretty good, pretty okay. But if Keanu had gone with the original name that he had picked when he moved to Hollywood, Batman would have been played by Chuck Spadina.
Yeah.
That's great.
Chuck.
Oh, I'm so glad you did not do that.
Yeah, I'm glad
I
you
know,
went with
it's-
Keanu.
It's easy to look back and or to like imagine that it would have been a bad decision, but Keanu Reeves is an amazing actor, and
Yeah.
I think if he took that role, he would have made it his own. I mean, for Christ's sake, he stars in a movie series about being so angry about his dog's murder that he goes and kills a bunch of people. I think he's capable of doing a darker role.
I'm not sure if that's a great example because I'm sure that any of us would go on a killing rampage if one of our animals was hurt. And
It's true.
we all have supplies of automatic weapons buried under our garage floors.
Plus, it's Christian
Also the
Bale.
car.
Of course. I mean, hell, I
Wait.
live in the South, man. Come on.
Yeah, all right. Anyway,
Christian
Speaking
Bale.
of the South,
So
Christian
it's
Bale.
like that's a
I hear that
100%.
Christian Bale loves elephants.
cool segue.
And segue.
All right, so
It's your party.
yeah, my party. So anyway, I came across a really interesting documentary called Dodo Heroes on Animal Planet. We were just randomly watching some stuff, and I'd come across this trust before, but there's a company called Sheldrick Wildlife Trust that funds a Kenyan project to help rehabilitate and save baby elephants that have been orphaned because of poaching. So not only are they combating poaching through actually funding game rangers and whatnot to actually stop poaching in Kenya, but they also take baby elephants and then rehabilitate them so that they have an upbringing and then become adult elephants and released back into the wild in Kenya. And
Upstanding members of Elephant Society.
right, and it's an amazing document. I mean, if you get to see it, Dodo Heroes on Animal Planet. It's the Sheldrick Wildlife Trust. It's incredible, and the story itself is so beautiful, and you just see these animals and the way that they interact with the people that are helping them, and it's just magic. I felt so moved by it. I just wanted to share it because ever since I've seen it, I just can't stop thinking about these little elephants.
I'm definitely going to try to check it out sometime this week.
And if you have money,
Yeah.
give it to them. Because
also, I'll make sure I put a link in the description of the video for you guys.
Right.
So if you're listening, you can check it out yourselves.
yeah, it's definitely a worthy cause, and if you watch the video, you'll see it's really beautiful what these guys do, what they and obviously the animals are incredible and so smart. And just it's so weird to see such a massive animal being so fragile. You see them getting transported back into the wild, and they have this 6-hour journey in the back of a truck, and these men that are helping them grow up as from baby elephants to big elephants are standing in the back of the truck with them. So they're kind of separated because obviously it's a big, huge animal and they're still wild animals. So it is dangerous, but they're separated. But they're standing there calming them and touching them and making sure that they're okay. And it's one per elephant. And you see the elephant put their trunk through the grate and touch the men on the head. And they're basically like trying to get calmed because they've never been in this sort of environment. It's really, really, really beautiful thing.
If you want to get your daily fill of elephant goodness, subscribe on Reddit to the subreddit Baby Elephant Gifts.
Oh yeah,
It's a lot of fun.
They're
They're
really
so-
we
they're
don't
so
know where
cute.
Omega is then.
yeah, they're definitely incredible animals, and that wildlife trust they're all about preserving wildlife, and as from someone that's actually been in Kenya and seen this up close and personal, it's really is an amazing place, and what these guys are doing is phenomenal.
So everybody should go check out Dodo Heroes.
Dodo Heroes, it's a great documentary if you want to take a look and see what they're doing over there. It's amazing.
So yeah, now that we've talked about something good and wholesome, we can move
Yeah.
on to
Nintendo E3.
Oh, the down and dirty. Okay, got it.
downright filthy.
So just looking over their page here at E3 Recap, it seems like they got more than a couple of good games coming out. Sequel to the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super
see,
Mario Maker 2.
I want to talk about Breath of the Wild 2. This is the first Zelda game that's explicitly a sequel to an earlier Zelda game, isn't it?
Maybe.
In name, yes. In name, yes. But I believe that Link's Awakening was a sequel, was it not?
I'm not sure. Let's look that up.
Yep.
The Frosty
Poll.
Pines podcast.
I was playing Duke Nukem
Yeah.
when that came out. So anyway, how's our Googlers doing over there? What
Duke
are
Link's-
Googling?
Wait.
So Link's Awakening started as a port of A Link to the Past, but it grew into its own original project with an original story and script.
Okay.
And actually, speaking of Link's Awakening, something else exciting I saw on Nintendo's E3 page is they are re-releasing that for Switch.
Oh, very nice.
And for any of you old school Game Boy players from way back in the day, Link's Awakening was
Oh,
pretty damned awesome.
one of the best.
So honestly, I'm seriously considering getting a Nintendo Switch. And I've been out of the console game for a long time, and if anything's going to bring me back into it, it's going to be Nintendo doubling down on Zelda games. So far, Breath of the Wild is the only one that I haven't played because I don't have a Switch. But
Wow.
now with Breath of the Wild 2, and the Link's Awakening remake, I might just have to get my hands on a Switch.
We can get Link's Awakening this year, September 20th, 2019. So not that far away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm honestly really excited for that. Because
And
that's going to bring back so much childhood nostalgia.
And they don't have any announcements of a new Switch, so you've definitely got a good few, a year or two at least
Yeah,
on.
a solid couple of years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How long has
Speaking
Switch been
of
out now?
childhood.
Year and a half.
Oh
Yeah.
Contra Anniversary Collection. That should bring back some memories.
Oh man, Contra. I remember that game.
That game was my childhood.
That was good
Yeah.
stuff.
I swear I thought I saw they're coming out with a new Contra 2. Yes, Contra Rogue Ops. Or Rogue Corps, sorry. That comes out on September 24th, 2019. Contra
Wait,
Anniversary
hang on.
Edition is
Hang
actually
on a
out.
second. You called it Rogue Corpse?
Corps. Yep,
Yeah, Core.
that's what it listed. On E3,
Is there an
it's
E?
listed as Corps. CORPS.
Ah,
Yeah,
that's
it's-
Core.
Yeah, it's the Marine Corps, not the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
So there we get core.
There's no E.
My bad.
Though with it being Contra, Corpse is not out of the question.
There you go.
This is true. There will be corpses.
Well, I mean, from the picture, he's definitely blowing something up. So there's definitely some kind of corpse.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. I remember the whole platformer, and you get those guns that just spray all over the place. It was really good times. It was really hard though.
Game Genie.
Game Genie was the best. Ugh. Made my life so much easier. Made my sister's life a living hell though.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, it
I
looks
mean,
good.
I mean, that was
Definitely
E3.
looks like Nintendo put out some stuff, but yeah, that's all I really saw. That yeah,
Well, what stood out to me was the releasing of The Witcher on
Oh, on
Switch.
Yeah.
Witcher 3, that should be cool. I mean, I've already got it on PC, but I'd consider getting it on there just because it's The Witcher. And it was really good.
I'm curious
And-
how they'll work the controls for that, but I was also curious about how they would do it for Warframe, and they nailed Warframe. So I got some high expectations, but I think
Well,
they're gonna pull it off.
They also released Skyrim on Switch. I mean,
They did. Oh, I missed that.
yeah, Skyrim came out. I mean, Skyrim came out on everything. I mean, I'm surprised it's not on the Nokia 3310.
Now there's a
they're also,
throwback.
they're also throwing it, bringing out Resident Evil 5 and 6 for the Switch later this year for zombie fans. Interesting.
Okay.
Still no Destiny on Switch. Not interested.
Wow.
Actually, there's one more.
Nintendo,
really
get your
exciting
shit
Nintendo
together.
game. One more
Which
really
one's
exciting Nintendo game is Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020.
Yeah.
That looks really good.
Featuring a mix of new and classic sporting events, including surfing,
You get to
skateboarding,
do
karate, rock climbing, fencing, football, or soccer, whatever, and many more. November 2019, come this year, complete with online multiplayer. Fuck up your friends.
You can play as Mario, Sonic, Yoshi, Amy Rose, Luigi, Dr. Eggman, and many more of your favorite characters.
Is that Amy Rose from Evanescence?
No, it's a hybrid of two companions
that's-
from Doctor Who.
That's Amy Lee.
Oh, okay.
And she is hot. Sorry.
We're getting distracted over here.
The Evanescence singer.
Oh!
and a beat 'em up. That would be hilarious.
Her
But it would
skill
Be there for fun.
her skill could be her special skill could be revival, and she sings "Bring Me
Yeah.
Back to Life," and then comes
See
up.
what you did there.
Oh, nice.
I'm not proud of how much I
didn't get it
listened.
until Zero said, "I see what you did there." Then it
Yeah.
look for the joke. Okay.
Cheers, mate. Cheers.
I like to explain when I'm not really catching things.
Oh, for God's sakes, Gobi, save us from the nothing we've become.
Okay, crossplay, history, and future. Dun dun dun. Your guys' thoughts on crossplay? Where do you think it's going?
I like that. So there are two games. I gotta pull up this topic again. There are two games that are on the Epic Store, and one of them is an Epic Store exclusive. One of them is Fortnite, and the other one is Dauntless. And I was just looking at the list. The list of games that are completely crossplay right now is very short. You got Fortnite for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PC, and mobile, and Dauntless for PS4, Xbox One, and PC, and then Rocket League, which is available on Steam for Xbox One, Switch, PC, and PS4. Those are the only games that claim like a good portion of cross-platform. The major ones right now, obviously, are PS4, Xbox One, and PC. So I like that. If the Epic Store is using this as an opportunity to like push crossplay on products that come out on their platform, I think that's a great way for them to sort of ingratiate themselves into the gaming community again after all the shit that they got thrown at them for Ubisoft exclusive access games. Plus that it's just a good marketing move. So if that's their angle, if that's something that they're interested in, they're pushing that in their games, I'm all for it. And I think that would be great. More games with cross-platform, real cross-platform, the better, in my opinion.
I think it's just a fact, though, that there are going to be certain types of games that one platform or another will have a distinct advantage over.
Yeah, this is the old sword and board versus controller argument, and it goes beyond that as well. But yeah.
Well, I think for for a full crossplay to work, they got to figure out a way to deal with that, like, and make it so that sword and board players can play with controller players, and not exactly level the playing board, but make it fun for all. If that means matchmaking more controllers with like PC guys with controllers, and mouse and keyboard guys with mouse and keyboard guys as much as possible. That's one way of doing it. I mean, but they got to do something with that. Otherwise, it could be short lived. I mean, I clearly want it because it's great. I mean, it'd be awesome to sit down and play, a game with Zero on his Xbox while I'm sitting at my rig. And I can currently do that with like a lot of Xbox games, but like I couldn't sit and play with Silas on his PS4 or anything like that. And that'd be kind of cool to play a game with, everybody. This Dauntless that came out, I've been looking at it. I'm not really a hack and slash kind of guy, so I don't know if I'd like it, but it does seem kind of cool. And the fact that it does have full crossplay at forum support is kind of a tick in its favor. What about you guys? Have any of you guys checked it out?
I will say I haven't played it, but I've watched My Name is Bife from YouTube. Him and his friends played it. And it looks fun, but it's very repetitive. It's like the same thing over and over again. It's like going through a strike battle in Destiny. But the big thing that I see with crossplay is, and again, this is coming from somebody who solely plays a first-person shooter. PC players of Destiny don't have flinch. They don't have bloom on the hand cannons. They don't have, they don't have lag time when it comes to their, when it comes to the inputs and stuff like that, like console players tend to have. And I'm glad that Bungie has decided to do cross save, because that does make things a little bit easier, because sometimes I do like to play on the PlayStation controller. It's just a little easier to handle.
Sure.
But when it comes to actual cross play, you'll see it in games like Fortnite and stuff like that, battle royale games. I think it's going to be a while before you see Microsoft and PS4 and Nintendo going complete crossplay, because one, when it came to the cross save aspect of Destiny 2 that is launching in September, the decision was not made by PlayStation until the 11th hour.
Yeah, Sony holding out
to do it. Yeah, Sony will hold out because they think they have a superior platform, which in some cases they do. But
wasn't it just down for like all day earlier this week?
Yep. And I've had this discussion. I've had this discussion with a couple of people. Back in 2000, I'll always bring up the 2011 security breach that shut down the PlayStation Network for, what was it, like a month?
Oh, it was ridiculous.
Or something
yeah,
like
I
that.
think like a month at least.
And a buddy of mine made a T-shirt that said, "My PlayStation Network was down for X number of days, and all I got was a stupid free-to-play game."
Yeah, I read an article about that.
Because literally that's what PlayStation did. I mean, PlayStation literally took their network down and said, "Okay, well, it's been down for a month, but one, we're not going to prorate any of your time, and two, you're not going to get anything for all of that time. And if your information got stolen, we'll make sure that we help you get it back. But once you get all your information secured again, we're not going to dick."
In the meantime, enjoy Tetris Extreme 3D.
Right. Here, enjoy DC Universe Online.
Ugh. Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah, and going back to when you were talking about Destiny 2, there was something I read recently. I don't play it, so I don't know the names of it. But there was like a event that they started, or like a new game mode, or kind of hard whatever mission
Yeah.
or whatever, and they have leaderboards for it, and like only one group on the top like 100 on the leaderboard or something ridiculous like that wasn't PC.
Yeah.
So that
And
is like a perfect example of the fact that in terms of gameplay, PC is superior in some types of games, and it's going to make it hard to do crossplay when you've got one group of players. Even in a cooperative game like Destiny, or we talk about Warframe a lot, it's the same way. It just won't be fun for players on a console if they aren't able to get kills, if they aren't able to feel like they're contributing when they're playing with people on PC who are just able to react faster, able to aim better, able just to do little things differently that make a world of difference over the course of an hour of gameplay.
Yeah, and it's funny. You should bring up Warframe. Everyone should play Warframe if you want to come play Warframe with us.
Warframe.
It would be wonderful. I would absolutely love it if we could get the PS4 dojo, the Xbox dojo, the Switch dojo, and the PC dojo all under one roof. It would be phenomenal if we could get all the gunslingers there, because we easily have a clan of about like 200 people overnight. But as Omega says, yeah, there are hindrances to people with a controller versus people with sword and board. And to make up for that, in some console games, you have things like auto target or aim assist, where it just, your controller sort of snaps to a target if you get kind of close to it and you're aiming. Features like that, I think, are a great way to sort of mitigate some of the things Omega brought up. But at the same time, I'm talking about a PvE co-op game, where we're killing NPCs, not each other. If you start doing that in PvP, people are going to bitch about it, regardless of whether or not it's actually a huge deal. It might be a huge deal. I don't know. I don't do a lot of PvP. But that's the only problem I can think of there.
There's no
PvE
way
co-op, though, great.
There's no way a community would ever stand for some players having aim assist and other players not.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
yeah, and to Omegon's point, with the World First, the raid event that they just did, they just dropped the new raid back on June 4th. And you're right, there was one, or the team that finished it first only beat a PS4 group by 2.5 minutes. And the person who did it on PS4 is Dado Knows Destiny on YouTube, and they lost by 2.5 minutes. The second place. He has gotten silver so many times, and he's gotten screwed because what people do is they don't start the raid when he does. They wait until he gets through the first or second encounter. They use the loadouts that he is going to use, and then they go through and clear the raid with his loadouts. So it's almost like he starts the second that it comes out, so it puts him at a disadvantage. One, because he's playing on a console. Two, everybody's watching him, which is why
part
I
of
think,
that, you just turn off the stream.
yeah, well, exactly. And I mean, that's one thing. You've got to know when to just turn it off.
Now I'm the oddball here. I'm playing on PC, but I only play with the controller. So, and I play some PvP. I played a few cross-play games. Gears of War 4. I get kicked out of lobbies just because I have a little PC icon next to my name, even though I'm playing with the controller. Yeah, it happens. So stuff that DrNiggle touched on, like the aim assist and stuff like that. Most games that have full controller support on PC already have aim assist, even in the PvP. It's just toned down, and the circle that you have to be in is much smaller. So it's already there. They've already used it to mitigate those problems. I'm not saying I'm great with the controller. I mean, I can hold my own, but a pro with a mouse and keyboard is gonna fucking destroy me. Even a pro with a controller is probably gonna destroy me. But I play games to just have fun, and I play mainly PvE. And I think games like Destiny 2 could easily be crossplay for everything but the PvP, or have mouse and keyboard only lobbies, and then have a toggle like Gears of War 4. It's been probably one of the longest shooters that I know of that was crossplay between PC and Xbox. And on Xbox, if you play the game, you can go into the settings, and there's a toggle that you can toggle off, so you never matched against PC players. You're only matched against other Xbox players.
I feel
If you feel
no, I feel discriminated against and excluded.
no, but
As
it's
you
turned
two-
on by default. So you have to, if you really don't want crossplay, you have to physically go in and turn it off.
Kobe,
It's on
Kobe.
by default.
The problem
So-
is that the option even exists.
Exactly.
I would rather give them the option and have crossplay than not give them the option and not have crossplay. It's the lesser of two evils.
I refuse to be a second-class citizen in the first world of gaming, and I demand that we do a Twitter protest or some shit. I don't know.
Yes,
It's,
Twitter protest.
Oh, boy.
And the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare will support full crossplay, so I'm pretty sure that'll be the first-person shooter with crossplay. So that'll be the real test. Yeah, I guess. Well, AAA. I guess.
I guess
Is
they're
Rocket
AAA.
Sport considered shooter? Oh, with the digs, man, with the digs.
Wait, so you mean that they're finally making that bro game completely 100% crossplay? Great. So that means
Yes.
all the bros can be in one place at one time.
You know, I used to love Call of Duty back in the Black Ops days, so that you can tell how long ago that was. The original Black Ops. And then Modern Warfare 3 came out, and I really enjoyed it. Until all these 13-year-old kids took over, and then it was just no longer fun. I didn't need to listen to kids screaming things that they shouldn't be saying at me for stupid ass reasons.
This was the first Call
Yeah.
of Duty I ever played. Call of Duty Black Ops 4. I was a Battlefield guy.
Yeah, I actually got into Battlefield, and as far as first-person shooter goes, I'm way more of a Battlefield guy than I am a Call of Duty.
Battlefield 3 was the last one I really was into, though. And then I stopped.
I'm still waiting for Bad Company 3.
You're gonna be waiting a while, friend.
I'm just waiting for the Master Chief Collection.
I know, dude, Omega, we're so outclassed here, Sweetness doesn't even know what Halo is.
No.
Yeah, I don't. I haven't played a first-person shooter seriously in a really long time. And once the Master Chief Collection comes out, that's probably going to be the only thing that could get me back into it. Because I think we've talked about it before. I play for the stories, not for the multiplayer. And multiplayer is fun, but I don't like getting super competitive with it because I just don't have the time to dedicate to getting good enough to not getting my ass handed to me by people who do nothing but play the game all the time. And
Yeah, same here.
That's just not fun. And I agree that the point is just to have fun. The point isn't to be one of the best in the world, but when you're getting
Spawn
slaughtered.
pistol snipe, you're getting pistol sniped from halfway across the map, 3 steps after you jump out of cover. It's just not even fun.
Yeah, that's why
But
I
it's
stopped
worth
playing
it for that
Counter-Strike.
one. It's worth it for that one time you get to teabag someone.
Well,
Just
for me, my the deepest I really got was Halo 2, and that was on Xbox 360, and it was the first time that that was really when Xbox Live first really became a big thing. That was pretty much the first major first-person shooter to be multiplayer, and it was before competitive gaming turned into what it is today. And for me, I still look fondly back on memories of big team battles where they were objective-based battles. It wasn't just KD ratio. It was King of the Hill. It was Capture the Flag. Those were amazingly fun because it took tactics and teamwork rather than just who is the best at killing other people.
Yeah,
And
solo play.
that is the highlight of first person of multiplayer first person shooting for me, is those objective based games. There's nothing more fun than stealing the flag, hopping into the side seat of a warthog as that spins up right in front of their base, and screaming your way back across the map to your base while screaming into the open voice mic the Indiana Jones theme song.
But wait, it's not a warthog, it's a puma. Okay, let's get this right.
It's also the last Halo game to be released on PC.
Man.
Oh yeah, that was good times when you actually had to work together.
Did you guys know that in 1991, Keanu Reeves was the bass guitarist for the grunge band Dogstar?
No, I'm learning all sorts of things about Keanu Reeves.
Useless Keanu facts.
There's a dreamy picture of him on Google Images.
Has Keanu ever met the Spice Girls?
Probably.
Oh, I brought them in.
The world would end just instantaneously. Too much greatness in one space.
I can't believe that I passed this up. A second ago, Leetness was saying it's worth all the grief that you get in the multiplayer first-person shooter games if you get to teabag someone. Have you found a use for all those teabags yet?
I was actually going to say, has anyone ever been teabagged by mail? Because I have.
Okay, so
recently been teabagged by mail.
Can I just say, that first of all, that's funny as shit. Two,
thank you.
Two, when the grade group that I used to run with back year one of Destiny 2, the group that I used to run with had an ongoing bit, I'm gonna call it, where every time that I died, all of them would congregate and then just teabag all at once. And it got to a point where it was the running joke, where every single raid it would end with, they would make sure that I was purposefully in a spot that I would die right as the final boss died. And then the only thing you would see at the end after the boss died was just 5 other heads bouncing up and down because they were teabagging.
These are the kinds of friends who stay with you for your whole life, who really mean something.
So just a side note, none of them play Destiny.
If only we had, an asshole friend that used to do something like that in the Division. Does anybody know that guy?
No, we have no idea who you're talking about. I don't know anything about that.
Fire extinguishers just randomly exploding.
I was gonna say I never teabagged anyone. That's not true. But that's not the only game that I came up with. There was also the jumping jacks game where you had to find the highest point that you could climb to on the map and do jumping jacks, and whoever didn't get the highest point lost.
You also got scolded if you didn't do them in the elevator.
Yes, you did. Well, you're supposed. That's just goddamn etiquette. Come on, what are we, savages?
If you're gonna play the game, play it right.
God damn it!
Damn Damn it, Jim! I'm a doctor, not a pool man.
Oh yeah, I got a little bit left. There's one last thing I want to touch on. So Insurgency Sandstorm game, not many people play.
On the doll, please.
Single finger.
But it's coming to Xbox and PS4 later this year, and it's getting new mod tools and hardcore mode for every mode. If the game wasn't already hard enough, I mean, this is one of those games that it's like hardcore in Call of Duty, but harder, and that's the normal mode. And then they added a hardcore rule set in case that wasn't difficult enough for you. It's getting some new weapons, a couple new maps, and snow, because apparently there's not enough snow in the game.
And it looks
and everybody
really
loves
pretty.
snow, right? Yes. And the game's actually a lot of fun. The co-op is great fun. It's brutal as fuck, as the guys heard earlier, right before this podcast. I was playing some Checkpoint and got my ass handed to me by some bots. I meant to do that, I swear.
I'm just joking.
He's just joking, only not really.
Not really.
Yeah, right? Yeah,
Don't call me Leapness for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't have any problem with this game. I mean, you'd probably have like a 10 KD in a matter of seconds because you're so elite, right?
Pretty much. That's how I roll.
Yeah. And then the last thing, this might take a while. So as usual, we do a round table at the end, and this time, what is your favorite game of all time?
Oh. All time? Like, can we at least like separate it down into genres or something? Because I played the shit out of SimCity.
One game.
Fuck.
That one game.
Boy, he doesn't want to make this easy, does he? Jesus.
No. I mean, I want to say Warframe
Speaking of
because,
assholes.
I mean, I love Warframe, but
Halo.
It's too hard.
got like over 2,000 hours in Space Engineers. Obviously, I liked that.
Got several thousand hours into masturbation.
Yeah,
The original Halo.
I guess I can start, because mine a little shocking, but Unreal Tournament, the first one. Unreal
Really?
Tournament 1999.
Yeah, I played a lot of that.
Jeez.
That's, I mean, as much as I love Gears of War and as much as I love Ghost Recon, the one game that really started it all for me. I mean, I played other games. I played Mario, stuff like Duke Nukem, the side scroller, and the 3D version. But Unreal Tournament was that first game that really sunk its hooks into me, and I was a gamer. Like, I played games before, but I played Unreal Tournament and I became a gamer, and that's why it's probably my favorite game of all time.
If I had to pick one game, it would be Halo. It revolutionized first-person shooters. It completely changed the perception of what they could be. I mean, the generation before that was, GoldenEye and Perfect Dark and stuff, and then all of a sudden they come out with this game that just completely changed everything about it, and it really brought the genre into the modern age. And it'll always be a major signpost in the journey of gaming, along that story that gaming has followed all these years. But if I were to pick one larger entity, I would probably say Zelda. The Legend of Zelda series. I've always been a fan of escapist stories and science fiction and fantasy in terms of novels and movies and stuff like that. And Zelda is everything I love about those games. It is a complete universe. It is a world created from scratch that is so deep and layered and vibrant, and it's got its own lore and history, and just everything is built up in such a way that it's just all encompassing. So those are the two things that I would mention.
Eliteness.
I think for me, it's there's a lot of games that obviously come to mind, but for me, the thing that really encompasses my gaming lifetime was Diablo 3. And
Diablo.
that's not necessarily my favorite game of all time. The thing that made it my favorite game of all time was because of the company and good times I had with everyone at GS. I think probably some of the best gaming moments of my life had to be while being a gunslinger and playing Diablo 3. So, yeah, that definitely is my game choice.
It's true. I remember one time you had an awesome night in GS voice chat
Oh, God.
playing Diablo 3.
Yeah.
It was.
See?
No, that's true. I mean, you and I played that quite a bit. That's the reason that I know Spirit. You introduced me to him. I think you introduced me to Fool as well. Steel, Sid, a lot of people. We
Yeah.
played with a lot of people on D3. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a lot of great hours in D3 with a lot of you guys. Me and DrNiggle played, just two of us, a ton. But for some reason, and it might just be nostalgia, but D2 stands out more to me
Yeah.
than D3. There was
Yeah,
just something special about Diablo 2. And
Hey.
Diablo 3 is a great game, but it's missing whatever it was that made Diablo 2 so damned amazing.
Grime and
I
dark.
agree.
Yeah, it was just
The
dirty
game,
and
the game was
dark.
better. The game was better. I will not disagree. In fact, I've probably now got more hours in Path of Exile, and I would choose Path of Exile over D3 any day. But I play Path of Exile solo mostly, and Diablo 3, I spent more time playing in groups than I ever did in any other Diablo game or in Path of Exile.
All right. Zero,
I
would you
miss-
like to tell us about Destiny 2?
Actually, if I had to choose a modern game, it would be Destiny. But that's just because that's where I first met everybody in GS that I've gotten to know. You know, it's if I had to choose it solely based off of the interactions with people, it would be Destiny. But what started my love for gaming is Shining Force, all the way back on Sega Genesis.
Wow.
If you
That's an old one.
the amount of strategy, and you had to be sure you had the right team together, you had to have the right people for each map, the different character types, just made it fun. Always kept you thinking about, okay, well, what's my next move going to be? How am I going to take out the boss? How can I get to the boss as quickly as possible without dying? I'm a sucker for turn-based role playing, and Shining Force would have to be a school game that would be, what really started my love for games in general. And then, of course, the gratuitous answer of Final Fantasy VII changed my life.
Jesus.
No, it really didn't. But Final Fantasy VII was the first game that ever really that I ever really had an emotional response to, because of the character build and everything like that. I hadn't played many games up to that one that had the depth of character building that Final Fantasy VII had. And now I get to experience it. And now I get to experience it all again in high definition.
Yay!
I'm not.
Well, So you guys have touched on this, you and Gobi. So let's extend this into a different question. What is the game that really turned you into a gamer, that made you
Nope.
fall in love with it?
Nope, can't do that. It has to be broad strokes. This is supposed to be extremely difficult. That's why Gobi worded it as your favorite game ever, and I can't say SimCity and Warframe and Mass Effect 2 and Assassin's Creed.
All of the games, all of them.
I want them all. No, just that one. That one. We all have
Minesweeper.
one.
Yeah, the old Microsoft pinball game that used to come with Windows but doesn't anymore for some stupid reason.
It was the only death of the Monopoly craze of the 90s.
Yeah.
The Hobbit on tape, the text adventure.
Okay, the text game for The Hobbit was actually like hardcore
Yeah,
awesome.
that was pretty fun.
That was awesome, actually.
Oregon Trail, motherfuckers. No.
All right.
Let's get truly old school.
All right.
I think you've procrastinated long enough, Doctor.
Oh yeah. Well, before I give my answer, I just want to tell everybody that as a teenager in Toronto, Keanu Reeves worked as a manager at a pasta restaurant.
Ah, gotta love the random
God.
Keanu Reeves trivia.
And favorite, I just rattled off a couple of them. I've played a lot of video games. I don't know, like favorite for all time. I could play Mass Effect 2 over and over and over again. It's one of those rare things in life where the sequel was actually better than the original, and still better than the last one in the trilogy. So I don't know. Maybe Empire Strikes Back was better than New Hope. Who's to say these things? But that's really tough, man. Picking a single one. Something that turned me into a gamer, that was definitely Gizmos and Gadgets on the Power Macintosh 7100 that we had back in 1994. I don't know if anybody ever played that game. Crazy game. You basically run around solving puzzles, picking up parts to build vehicles so that you can race a mad scientist, because by winning races you somehow thwart him. I don't really rightly know how that works, but
that sounds like the
race.
plot. That sounds like the plot of every Need for Speed game ever.
I was going to say, it sounds like the Crew.
There you go. That's the seed game for all the rest of the
Apparently, it works.
Rest of the world.
yeah, but yeah, probably Mass Effect 2 or Space Engineers or Banished. Banished is also a really good one.
I will give you Mass Effect was a very good game, and I did like the first one, but I would agree the second one was better.
I liked all three.
But
2 is probably my favorite because they had grenades in 2. They had grenades and they had the super weapons.
I
think I have money on
better, but
your choice, Gobi.
huh?
I think I could put money on your choice. Maybe.
Yeah. Wait, go
Yeah.
for it. Which one?
Gears.
But they're probably my favorite game series, but I wasn't joking. Unreal Tournament, that's
Yeah.
I still have the new one
you
involved
said that
or
already.
installed.
Yeah, he was first. Linus,
You went first.
Put the
I
box
forgot.
down.
I don't have any box tonight.
Put the picture
I'm all
down.
bottle, baby. I'm all bottle.
No, I mean Gears will always have a special place in my heart. It's probably like the rest of you guys, it's my favorite modern game. But UT99, that was so many good memories. It was back when I didn't even have internet at my house back in these days. So I used to play against bots on God mode and then go to LAN parties. And LAN parties is the only place that I ever got to play against other people. Otherwise, I had to play against bots on God mode at home because I literally did not have internet access at my house. It wasn't even a thing.
Wasn't a thing at my house either until 1999.
Yeah, I was, and I've had dial-up until 2012. We had dial-up here.
56K?
Something like that. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, it
you were
wasn't-
lucky.
That was. Well, I did in 2012. I had 56K.
I just immediately snapped back to 28K. Oh. Kids
and
these
then
days. Kids these days will never know.
No, they won't know the struggle of your mom picking up the phone and disconnecting you in the middle of a round. Are you kidding me?
You children have no idea what it is to look at porn on a 56K modem.
Patience.
Oh.
Patience.
Image compression used to be vital to the internet. There's a reason for that.
The education just keeps on coming this round.
Pixels matter.
Would take you 6.5 hours to download a 15-second porno.
And that's
yes,
the best you could hope for. Is 15 seconds.
And
So,
yes, I did say 15 seconds.
I think what we're trying to say is get better internet if you want to watch porn.
I mean, today it's just not even an issue. You can just go to the library.
Oh,
We gotta stop this.
Oh, the whole Heathhill Express.
No,
I
we
think-
gotta stop this.
I think they
Yeah.
already
Still
have that
exists?
in most
Oh my
states.
goodness.
Yes, unfortunately, we are out of time for the week. I want to thank you guys for coming again. It's been fun. Yeah, and we'll catch you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.
Later.
Yes.
See you guys.
I